Hello everybody. I'm Julia Berry from Upper Design Studio, and today I am here with the wonderful Emily Waddell, the founder of The Honest Consumer. Yeah. This is an awesome website with tips for sustainable living and a database of green businesses that help us all make our households, lifestyles, and gifting gentler on the earth, which is so awesome. So, Emily, can you tell us your pronouns and anything else you'd like us to know about you or the honest consumer to kick things off?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm
My
psyched.
pronouns are she, her. Yeah, I'm excited too. I currently live in Seattle, so we're enjoying the rain right now. And I've been running The Honest Consumer for almost 10 years now. So that's really exciting to be coming up on my 10-year mark
Wow, when is that anniversary?
in
Like,
February.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. So, how do you feel like your work has evolved as you've gone over this? Like, what are you reflecting on coming up onto this anniversary?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm reflecting on kind of how the internet has changed since I first started, which is wild. I feel like the algorithms and AI, obviously, that's presented some challenges. So trying to navigate that and being more excited too about how many people are on board with sustainable living. I feel like over that
Mm,
time period, it's grown and expanded so much. Just in general, it's getting more popularity. So I think that's been really
yeah.
cool to see as well.
Yeah. Well, that's really inspiring to hear. I feel like, a lot of times I can feel like we're operating in a vacuum or like I'm the only person on my block who's doing this or whatever. So, just to kind of hear that you're noticing a trend of more people engaging with what you're doing, that warms my heart in a good way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'd love to talk with you more about the nitty-gritty of the challenges and things that you've gone through and things you've learned on a consumer. But first, let's talk a little bit about why you started it in the first place. Why do you care about sustainability? What do you love about the world that motivated you to start The Honest Consumer?
Yeah, so I think that what motivated me was my passion for small businesses. At the time, I was volunteering with a nonprofit they made jewelry and worked with survivors of trafficking. And so I was going
Oh,
to
wow.
craft fairs with them to help sell their jewelry and just being in that environment of a bunch of creative businesses and a lot of them doing good. And at that same time, I was in college and I started noticing how people loved like Tom's and Giving Keys, those bigger brands that were giving back. And I was like, these small businesses need some exposure too. And so I started writing about businesses that I would meet at craft fairs. And that's kind of what kickstarted my journey. And then from there, kind of expanded outwards into brands using sustainable materials and doing other cool things and learning further about ethical production and transparency. And so, yeah, that's kind of what got me inspired and got me started.
That's very cool. How have you like educated yourself about all of this along the way? I mean, that's a lot. To start
Yeah,
from a craft fair and then now have all of this built up around ethical production and sustainable practices and kind of the ins and outs of all of that.
yeah, I think learning from other people has been a huge thing for me. Just like talking to other business owners about what they're doing and just surrounding yourself with experts and not being afraid to ask questions, I think has
Mm.
really helped me understand things better and expand my knowledge.
Yeah, yeah. So, what do you find the most rewarding at this point about doing the honest consumer?
I think when I get messages like emails or DMs from readers that say like that they found a resource or a brand through my site, like that's really meaningful to me that to know that I made a difference in someone's shopping habits. Like you said, it can feel like we're working in a vacuum space earlier and just like it's sometimes hard to see that bigger picture of like, am I making a difference in people's lives? Like actually. Um,
Right.
and so getting those messages is like a really nice reminder that people are actually reading what I'm doing and learning and expanding their knowledge too.
Yeah, for sure. It's good to remember that we're all people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like sometimes, I'll get emails from customers and they're surprised that it's just like a person who's writing back to them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that's
know. It's like sometimes as small business owners, I feel like, or like solo entrepreneurs, it feels like you're a robot almost doing everything. And like,
yeah, you wear a
then
lot of
that
hats.
interaction, yeah, that interaction with like an actual customer, readers, like kind of puts things back in perspective, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. Um, what do you feel like, kind of thinking about this like larger picture of connection and um everybody doing a little bit, like how do you kind of see the honest consumer fitting into the larger sustainability movement or, how does it benefit individuals or communities or like the earth as a whole? Kind of what's your vision behind that?
Yeah, so I really try to make it approachable for people to start living sustainably or start being more of a conscious consumer because
Yeah.
I think so often it can be really overwhelming. And just thinking back to when I started my journey, like when I started learning about how horrible fast fashion was, I was like, oh my gosh, like, how do I educate myself on brands? Like, do I need to get rid of my fast fashion and like just feeling overwhelmed and all that?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think that encouraging people to do their best with like what they have and creating like easy to read guides and resources that help people realize that you can do it step by step and you don't have to do it all at once. That's how I try to approach it.
Yeah. Well, I'm super on board with that.
Thank you.
That's definitely the way that I've been able to tap into things and how I want to approach stuff at Uproot too. And,
Yeah.
I really do think that like there's so many people on Earth that if we each just did small things, it would have a huge impact. And a lot of people already are, and it really is. And like, we've talked before about how there's just so much doom and gloom that we can pay attention
Yeah.
to if that's where we put our focus. And yes, these issues are serious and that's why we care about them, but also kind of like you said, thinking about the reality of like what can I actually do as one person and remembering that lots of other people are also doing this stuff, that helps me keep going. And I feel like, yeah, when I read an honest consumer article or, a blog post with tips or things like that, or when I'm looking for gifts or things for my house and I go on there and I try and find something, like I do feel this sense of support that you've done all of this work
Aw,
already for
thank
me
you.
and everyone else. So yeah, big thank you for that. And definitely
Thank
like
you.
when you're behind the curtain, sometimes, you don't
Yeah,
know all the people who are coming and being like, oh, thank goodness this exists.
right. Well,
You
thank you.
know?
And
Yeah.
I love how your brand is like so colorful and because like you said, the doom and gloom, like I just feel like your brand does a really good job of like kind of fighting against that and making it fun because I think that's also something that gets overlooked is like sustainability can be about creativity and it
Mm.
doesn't have to be like intense or boring or anything.
Yeah, I feel like you've hit some things in that way about like crafting or
Hmm.
thrifting or stuff that also
Right,
starts getting into like lifestyle and hobbies and how can this be fun? How can this be social? How can this
right.
connect us to what we actually like about the earth? I mean, for me, that is why I do make everything colorful and lively because I really do have this deep love of the planet and the kind of wonder and awe that it provides. Like that, no matter how bad things are, that never leaves me. Like I just go walk
Yeah,
by a tree and it like comes back.
right.
So
Yes.
so yeah, I think like it's great that, you're also offering a resource that can help people kind of find joy in what they're doing for the earth too, or like, yeah, this actually is doable. This actually does have an impact. Um, what are some things that you're particularly excited about or proud of at the Honest Consumer, either over the years or like an initiative that you're working on right now?
Oh, that's a good question. I guess over the years, like a couple years ago, I had 150,000 monthly readers, which was like really, I don't know,
Wow.
that was a big, a big
Yeah.
hit for me. And just like know that that many people are reading my work and like care about what
Yeah.
is going on, like that was a big thing for me. So, and
Especially
then
because like active readers are like those are real people who are actually
yeah,
caring about this and reading stuff. You know, it's not just a like on a post or whatever, which is like
right,
that's nice, but yeah.
right.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, to have so many people like actually coming to my website, that was really meaningful. And then currently, um, I really love like doing gift guides and like creating, I don't know, that more creative aspect of like curating things. Like,
Hmm.
even like I do some ethical fashion guides and things like that. So I feel like those types of things always keep me just inspired because I get to go through websites and see like new products and stuff that brands are coming out and then kind of piece those together to create a
Hmm.
resource. So I think that's a big thing that I love right
Yeah.
now as well.
Have you discovered any new companies or initiatives or projects that you were super jazzed about that you didn't know about before in doing the most recent guides?
Oh, it's a good question.
I feel like every time
I
I go down a rabbit hole, like, you know, it's sometimes a slog, but I usually come up with something that I'm like, oh wow, like plastic made of seaweed or,
yeah,
um,
yeah. I know I'm like I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now, but I know that there's stuff. I really like the cactus leather stuff that's been coming out. I know that that's not like overly new, but there's been some cool like cactus leather bags and stuff that's interesting.
wow. So is that where do the cactuses come from? Like, are they sustainably farmed, or is the idea like cactuses regrow easily, or like, can you just talk a little bit more about that? I'm really curious what that
Yeah,
is.
I mean, I need to further my knowledge on it because I'm not overly familiar with it. But yeah, I believe that the cactuses were like sustainably grown and just that like texture of it. I actually
Hmm.
have a tote bag that's made from it, and it's like it feels really similar to leather, so it's very
That's
fascinating.
wild.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's so many creative things going on, and like we have all the tools and things that we need, and it's just a matter of
yeah,
like finding out about it and doing the stuff a lot of the
yeah, I
time.
know. And
So
it's like
I'm
cool
putting
how
that one
everything
on
is
my
like,
mental list.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's another one that's like apple leather, and I
but not
can't
the kind you can
remember.
eat.
No, no. Yeah.
Which I also
Um,
like. Organic fruit leather, also good.
oh
But
yeah.
yeah,
And
can't
for different
can't carry your
reasons.
chapstick in it.
Yeah, yeah. It's so cool that people are doing things like that with like natural materials.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, well, maybe we can post a few of your favorite cactus leather and other things along with when
Yeah.
we share the video. Um,
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear about your process also in running this business. Like, what are some challenges that you've hit along the way, and how have you tried to solve them? Because I think a lot of what we do is kind of behind the curtain, and
Yeah.
it's encouraging to know that people have tried things, failed, learned from it, gathered data, done other things, just that like this
Yeah.
is kind of part of the process. And I think even if someone doesn't have a business, even if it's just like, what am I gonna do in my household or what green habits do I want to try to have? You know, it's okay to not succeed the first time. Like nothing's gonna be perfect the first time. And I think we all, can get into that perfectionist mindset of like, you know,
Yeah.
I didn't exactly do what I had planned for my
Right.
resolution or whatever and just kind of throw in the towel. So I also like to talk about, obviously like what's exciting, what you're proud of, what's going well. But
Yeah.
yeah, if you can talk a little bit about just kind of like the realities and the challenges and how you rolled with it, I think that's also helpful for people to hear.
Yeah. I think a challenge that I'm facing right now is dealing with AI. A lot of people aren't going to websites anymore, which is sad. They're kind of trusting those AI overviews, and
Mm.
that's like a loaded thing. Obviously, we know AI is like not great for the planet. And then also AI has been trained on, my 10 years of work and other people's years of work, and not always giving people the credit they deserve. And so
Yeah.
trying to navigate because I was getting like a lot of readers from just like regular Google searches when people were looking for sustainable living
Mhm.
tips or questions. Um, and since things have kind of shifted towards that, kind of relying more on my regular readers, like with my newsletter and exploring other platforms like Pinterest more. And so
Mhm.
that's been an interesting shift that I think a lot of small businesses are trying to navigate right now too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as an artist,
Yeah. Has
every
that
time I post
impacted you?
something, it's like it's going into
Hmm.
the machine. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's, I think, every technology that comes out impacts what we do in both positive and negative ways. And I just always try to think about like, okay, well, this is a tool and how am I engaging with it? And
Yeah.
what do I feel about how other people are engaging with it? And,
Yeah.
if it's going to stick around, what are the ethical ways to use it or not use it?
Right.
And um, yeah, then the questions you're asking about how do I stay connected to people now that the ways that
Yeah.
I was using are shifting?
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I feel like that just it just happens over and over
Yeah.
again, where it's like you've got your thing
Right.
down, and then like the next, invention comes along. Um,
Totally.
so I'm curious, like, has that led you to any positive brainstorms of like, oh, I don't know, focus more on e-news that are more in depth, or like, has it helped you get excited about other ways of doing things or like given you any ideas, or is it still kind of percolating? Because, yeah, I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
it's just a big transition for the whole world right now.
Yeah. It did provide an interesting shift for me personally because it was like I was in a place where I was kind of writing to answer questions that people were searching for on Google. So, like, what are people looking for and how can I help? And then with this shift, it's like, okay, I like don't really need to be doing that anymore. So
Mm,
I'm writing more from like a personal angle, I guess, in a sense. Like what do I actually want to write about and how can I share my experience more? Because I think
interesting.
it's interesting too, like people are craving that like connection. And so
Yeah.
I'm hoping that also maybe by sharing my personal experience that maybe that draws readers in as well. So it's a process, I think, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny how in this moment we're sort of going in two directions where like, the more automated and the faster you can do everything, the better it is. And then also that is making us crave human connection and slowing
Yeah,
down and like connecting to the land and all of these things even more.
right.
So yeah, it's this
It's like
very
ironic.
strange parallel that's
Yeah,
happening. And it's like, how is one impacting the other? Can using AI for things that, are just like annoying admin free us up to do these other things, but then
right.
the production of the AI is hurting the earth and
I
how do
know.
we weigh these things? It's very tricky. But
Yeah,
it's really interesting that you're saying kind of like AI will never be able to be a specific unique person. I
right.
hope. I don't think.
Yeah, I hope not. I
Fast forward
don't
3,000 years, who knows?
know.
But yeah, what you're talking about, like tapping into kind of who you are authentically and why you care about this and sharing that with people, like that's not really replicable because you're the
Yeah,
only you. So I'm
yeah,
really interested to see kind of where that goes. And I mean, I've definitely seen maybe even pre-AI, like you've shared some things about kind of self-care and mental health along with this sustainable living efforts because I think, a lot of us struggle with grief, anger, guilt,
yeah,
depression, anxiety. I mean, it's the issues are certainly serious and there's so much else going on in the world right now too. But like for me, I feel like the earth is home to everybody. Like for me,
yeah,
it's not a political issue. I mean, I understand that
yeah,
there are things that are going on with it politically, but like, yeah, we all live here and we all live
yeah.
here
We should all
together.
want, yeah,
And
we should all want the best for the earth.
yeah, and so like having feelings about what's going on, I think is pretty natural. Like we are connected to all the cycles that happen here and we're part of it and we impact it and we shape it and we receive it and all of that. So
Yeah,
yeah, so I'm curious, like, however much you want to share. I think, in the past you've been pretty candid about your own journey with, mental health and connection with sustainability. Um, do you feel like running the honest consumer like helps you with grief and overwhelm and anxiety in any way? Like, does it add to it? Does it give you a container to put things that you feelings
yeah.
that like I'm kind of curious about how you handle that mental health aspect of all of this.
Yeah, I think the honest consumer has given me a good outlet. Back when I first started and the Instagram algorithm was less bad, I did make some posts about feeling anxious and kind of alone in that anxiety, I guess.
Yeah,
And the amount of people that related to that was really nice to see, and it made me feel validated and less alone in that. And so, yeah, it's been really interesting because I think a lot of people do struggle with that anxiety or anger, sadness. And I think that we do have to take care of ourselves in order to take care of the planet, take care of each other, and
Yeah.
live sustainably. Yeah.
Yeah. I know for me, there's definitely a balance of being informed, but
Hmm.
also leaving space to connect to why I love the earth and do things that make me happy so that I have the energy to kind of,
Yeah.
brace myself for
Yeah.
reading news and just, having the like verve and motivation and strength to go out and do things about it.
Yeah.
Um, because yeah, that's not always the case, and I feel like that's a balancing act that like it isn't like okay, I figured it out and
Hmm.
you know I did it.
Yeah.
Like I think it's just sort of this ongoing. I once saw this circus where they were talking about how balance is actually like a verb, like to keep they
Uh,
were holding like a pole with something on top and balancing it like this,
uh-huh.
and they were saying to keep it balanced, like you actually have to keep making adjustments and it's an
Oh.
activity. And that really
Hmm.
stuck with me like as a metaphor
Yeah.
for oh, it's not like okay, I'm gonna figure this out and I'm gonna get in balance and then I'm never gonna
Right.
feel sad about this again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or
I like that metaphor.
I'm never gonna doom scroll at night and then later
Right.
be like, why did I do that again? But,
Right.
you know, what can I do to kind of be conscious of that? And I think actually, were you the one who recommended the brick to me?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that was you. Yeah. So that was life changing, this little device that kind of makes conscious your choice to go on apps that you may or may not want to be
Right.
sucked into all the time. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so thank you for that.
Oh
I've
yeah.
been
I'm
like
glad you
recommending
found it
that to
helpful.
everybody. Well,
Yay.
especially because like a lot of the other tools are time based, and
Right.
I do actually need to be on these apps for work and staying
Yeah.
informed
Yeah.
and
Same.
engaging and whatever. So for me, it's not an amount of time. Like sometimes it's more than an
Yeah.
hour. So if I set an hour and then the thing cuts me off, then I can't do my job, you know? So
And then you get frustrated.
yeah, so the brick is great because it's like I think they just introduced a thing with a timer recently, maybe, but I really just
Okay.
use it to be like physically, this item is in another room and I have to go get
Yeah.
it on purpose if I'm gonna go look at this.
Yeah,
So
you have to
that's
think
something
about
that
it.
yeah, that's really helped me a lot be very conscious with what news and information do I want to absorb and when? Like
Yeah.
not right before bed.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that I
I
don't know why I was
know.
doing that. That wasn't good for me
Yeah.
personally. So
Same.
so I'm curious like do you have I mean obviously you told me about the brick. What other resources have kind of helped you with your mental health and sustainability journey, or like do you have things that techniques that you use or kind of things you've discovered along the way?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, spending time in nature has been a big thing.
Mm.
I moved from the South to Seattle, and just the access to being able to like go into the forest is like super easy. And we have so many parks here. And for me, that's made a big difference because I wasn't really like into that growing up. I was in Texas, so it was hot. Um, so I think in my
Yeah,
adult life, taking the time to go be with the trees or go sit at the beach has been a big help for me.
yeah.
Therapy, I think, also is great.
Hallelujah for therapy. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
Trying to think what else.
think I was reading a New York Times article about um, kind of this emerging field or like specialization around climate anxiety for
Mm,
therapists that like
interesting.
more and more people are coming to them with that And
Hmm.
it's a different sort of thing. Like I think, there's all different kinds of anxiety, obviously, but
Yeah,
being anxious about something that's actually happening is different than being anxious about something that's not happening. So,
right.
so some of the traditional like learning to deal with the unknown or
Right.
whatever, is being kind of revamped a little bit for this in terms of like some of the stuff we were talking about before. Like,
Yeah.
how do you acknowledge what's going on, but also what you need to do to be a person, live your life, and be able to contribute in the ways that you can and feel good
Yeah.
about doing those specific things because we can't do everything as individuals.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's so hard and back to balance, Like
yeah,
you gotta like take care of yourself. And yeah, I feel like it's just a journey, and like some days I get more worked up
ongoing.
about it than others. And
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
um, yeah, do you have any good coping mechanisms you found?
I think the human connection
Yeah, that
thing
is
of
a good
like,
one. Hmm.
we're going through this together and kind of people being able to validate
Yeah.
that what the other person is doing matters.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that always helps me keep going. And I also think just having creativity and play and
Yeah.
having time for things that I don't just make me feel like I'm using my full brain and body and spirit and
Yeah. Bring you
just
joy.
yeah, it just makes me feel very alive. And I think
Yeah.
feeling very alive motivates me to be like, I'm part of this planet,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And
Totally.
I'm gonna get back on the horse. And the other thing is just letting go of perfectionism and being okay with like, well, I fell off the track and now I'm gonna get back on again.
Yeah.
There's always time and space to get back on again, and sometimes you just need a break, you
Yeah.
know. And like knowing when you're burning out or
Yeah.
being in a toxic situation that you need to leave or things like that. I think
Yeah.
just sort of checking in on that with yourself from time to time. I also have
Yeah.
like some accountability buddies where we literally are like, okay, how's it going this month? Like, you
I love
know,
that.
mental health
Yeah.
check-in.
Yeah.
Obviously, accountability buddies are often uh, also for like, how's the business going? How's the work
Yeah.
going? How's your life going?
Yeah.
Whatever. But yeah, mental health check-in on the calendar also just helps me remember that like this is a thing to carve out time for and
Yeah.
take care of. And um because I feel like part of what's so tricky about it is that it's like this slippery amoebic thing where like I can sort of just be chugging along and it's very easy to ignore all of that and just sort of
Yeah.
be like productivity and whatnot,
Right.
and
Right.
then all of a sudden it's like, oh, why am I feeling so
Yeah.
tired or like demotivated or whatever? And when I do have those feelings, I try to just let myself have a day where I take care of that and like
Yeah.
that is okay. That's part of the process and
Right.
not feeling like, oh, I'm not getting everything done.
Yeah. It can be hard.
Like not trying to not feel bad
Yeah.
about feeling bad is also
Oh,
like
yeah.
I
I
don't
feel
need the
that.
extra layer, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. It's like that capitalism, just like eating at your brain, like be productive.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously, like as a person who makes things, and you have a business where you're like
Yeah.
putting stuff on your website and doing concrete tasks and stuff too. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, we do have goals in that arena, but it's like we're saying, kind of a balancing act of like keeping our eye on this like human aspect of why we're doing what we're doing, you know.
Yeah.
Also, I loved what you said about kind of reconnecting with nature. I feel like that can cut both ways for me. Like sometimes I'm like, this is so beautiful and I feel so sad about it. And
Yeah.
then other
Yeah.
times it's like, this is so
Yeah.
beautiful and it's really rejuvenating.
Yeah.
Um, and
I
just
get
kind of
that.
like letting it be whatever it is. But the point is the grief and the sadness is like that is a reflection of how much I love the planet.
Yeah.
So I just try to think of it that way as like
Yeah.
a measure of deep feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. Which can
You
be
know,
hard sometimes to sit with.
yeah, yeah, for sure. But in the end, I feel like the awe
Yeah.
always comes back where it's just like, yeah, this is really a majestic planet. And,
Yeah.
you know, things are happening, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you thought about whales lately? You know what I mean? It's just like I always
Yeah.
come back to that.
Yeah.
Um,
Like the tall trees are so beautiful.
yes.
I'm lucky to be here with them.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know like, I obviously I live in Brooklyn and New York City and like
Hmm.
it can be a bit harder when you're in an urban environment to kind
Right.
of find those areas and stuff. I think there are a lot of parks and a lot of like also kind of hidden woodsy areas like up in Queens and stuff. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, I try to remember to make time to pay attention to that and to like actually go to the park and not just walk by it, you know?
Yeah. It's hard to like remove yourself from the city setting or like force yourself out of the city setting sometimes, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's so much about it that I love and obviously it brings all the people near us who are doing amazing things and making art and all of this cool stuff. So I don't know. Is
Yeah.
there anything that's like specific to Seattle that has brought you inspiration or like local groups or projects or things that you're part of? Or is it more like solo time at the beach, which also sounds
Well,
amazing?
yeah. I have a friend. I have a friend too. We kind of hold each other accountable in the mental health aspect too. And so we do like weekly walks at this park that has like a forest aspect and then it ends up at the beach. And then if we get to the beach and if we're feeling angry that day, we like to throw rocks in the ocean. So
That's great.
that's kind of my current Seattle specific mental health weekly check-in.
Yeah. I feel like that also really points to like what you said before about how a lot of these feelings about the planet and what's going on, like it's easy to feel like alone in them, as you said,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
kind of setting up some sort of buddy system or, talking to other people about things, or even just like being quietly in someone else's company. It's like
Yeah.
it makes it a collective project, a collective burden, a collective joy, and there's
Yeah.
something I agree that that's
It can
helpful.
be, yeah, it can be really powerful. I also recently went to a rage retreat, which was very interesting.
Whoa.
Yeah. And it was like a women's rage retreat, and there was a focus on how like women aren't allowed to be
Hmm.
angry and such. And
Hmm.
a lot of the women in the room were angry about like what's happening in the country, to the planet, like those kind of things as well. And we got to smash pumpkins with a baseball bat, and we like threw some ceramics and we screamed and like it was a really cool experience to go through with like there was like 10 of us and
Wow.
just to know that other people were feeling that intense
Yeah,
emotion was like very validating, and to be in a space where you could actually talk about it and not feel
right.
judged or anything was very powerful.
Wow. And also just kind of, I mean, I was just saying collective grief and joy and whatever, but like collective rage, I feel like is
Yeah.
also like very powerful, like
Yeah.
people kind of standing up and saying, this is not acceptable, what's going on? Like
Yeah.
that, I always, when I go to like marches and stuff,
Yeah.
it's such a, I don't know, like the energy in the air. Obviously, it's such a
Yeah.
positive thing that people are like, we want to stand up for this thing that we love.
Yeah. It's
And
powerful.
it always makes me cry. Like, just,
Yeah.
I don't know, the
I feel
feeling
that.
of it, like the electricity
Mhm.
in the air and the feeling that like all these people showed up.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, I've never been to a rage retreat, but that is fascinating. And like, I wonder, I mean, in our everyday lives where we obviously are not like in a safe environment to throw plates around,
Right,
whatever,
right.
like, did you come away with any feelings about like how to incorporate this into everyday life, or was it sort of like, oh wow, great, we had a catharsis and now I can go home, or like something else entirely?
Yeah, I mean, I think it made me realize that I want to kind of expand my community to find more people that are comfortable talking about like rage and the tough stuff, I think, because like I have
Yeah,
a few friends that I'm comfortable talking about that with, but it was really cool to be in like a group setting and do that. So I think for me, that's one thing that I took away from it that I would like to do. And then also just like trying to find something that's more of a physical release of that anger because
hmm
I did like throwing things and stuff, but I obviously can't really do that at my house. So I was like, maybe I can punch a pillow or something, but I feel like that kind of physical aspect helped me physically
yeah,
release things that I just feel in my body. And I think that's something we don't always think about.
yeah, definitely like moving your body
Yeah,
does
yeah,
something for that. Like, I can't do it so much anymore because my knees don't love it, but I used to run and
yeah,
just, I don't know, just something about like moving that fast. It feels like you're kind
yeah.
of leaving everything behind or something. I don't
Right,
know.
right.
Or
Yeah,
like, some people dance or, you know,
yeah,
just, yeah, stretch, shake it out.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
some way of being like, yeah, I feel this thing, but it doesn't have to consume me
Right, right.
necessarily, or
Absolutely.
like I can kind of manifest it into something else. I mean, that's part of what I love about art making too,
Right.
is
Yeah,
like it it takes your full body. Like you
yeah.
can't really be thinking about anything else or doing
Right,
anything
right.
else. And
Yeah,
it is also a way of like processing what's happening and connecting with other people about that and giving
totally.
other people the opportunity to be like, oh wow, somebody else also experienced or felt this thing or is thinking about this thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
yeah,
love that.
hooray for embodying our feelings for sure.
Yes, it's important.
Yeah. Um, and kind of in that vein of like integrating how we feel and what we want to do like in our lives and our bodies in real ways. Um, what would you suggest if somebody wanted to find motivation to get involved with sustainability efforts or like finding their own green habits? Because like before you were talking about, just kind of starting small and doing what you can and stuff. So I'm curious, what would your suggestions be for someone who's just getting started?
Yeah, I mean, I think being creative and being curious is a great place to start. Like around your house, like what can you reuse or what could you repurpose? Like there's so many crafty ways that you can go about that, like upcycling. And yeah, I think that's a really easy thing that's accessible to everyone, and also just valuing the stuff that you have. And yeah, like I mentioned earlier, when I first was reading about fast fashion, I was like, oh my gosh, should I get rid of my fast fashion pieces? And it's like, no, that's not sustainable. So valuing what you have and just like taking those small steps to do better going forward, because we're all learning. And once, you're aware of that, I think you tend to try to do better.
hmm Yeah, and like focusing on like, okay, if my thing is I'm gonna use what I have, then you kind of know what that is and you can roll with it and it doesn't have to like consume your
Yeah,
whole everything. Um,
right, right.
yeah. And on that topic of like upcycling and crafting and different things, I was also wanting to ask you, obviously right now we're like in the thick of holiday season.
Yeah.
So, do you have any kind of favorite upcycled holiday crafts or like what do you think are the most doable, like impactful ways people can be green while they're still celebrating and doing the
Yeah.
holidays and doing gifting like
Yeah.
we don't have to we don't have to stop doing all of the things we love to be green. So,
Right, right.
yeah.
I think as far as like upcycling craft, like I like to use cereal boxes and like trace Christmas shapes and cut those out and color them to be like gift tags. I think that's a fun, easy thing to do. I also think regifting is really cool. I feel like if there's an item you're not using, then there's no shame in giving that to someone else who might find it useful.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think those are two easy things. I also love going to like craft fairs and trying to meet entrepreneurs and support their
Mhm.
businesses when gift giving. And I do have a holiday gift guide that is a resource
Yeah.
if you're trying to shop small online. And
We
I
will
think
post
your
that.
well, thank you. And I think your shop is a great resource for
Oh,
people trying
thanks.
to find
Also
responsible
that.
gifts as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Um, okay, so as we're wrapping up here, I'm gonna ask you just like some quick popcorn questions.
Okay.
What is something you really love about running the Honest Consumer?
I love connecting with small business owners.
What is your favorite season and why?
Oh, that's a tricky one. Probably fall because I'm a homebody and I like the cozy fall vibes.
Yeah. Get out the tea. Um, do you have a favorite plant or animal or biome or ecosystem or
Oh, that's hard. I love a tall Douglas fir tree. I feel like when we moved to Seattle, like I was just in awe of all of those, and so they hold a special place in my heart.
yeah, sometimes I feel like fir trees are people.
Yeah,
Like
I think
especially the
they,
bushy
yeah,
ones. Like you have a beard.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they definitely have a soul and all that.
Yeah. Or maybe it's more like people are trees. I don't know. I may have said
Yeah.
it backwards.
Hmm. Could
Um,
be.
what are you reading or listening to right now?
Oh, I am reading a romance novel that I can't think of the name of. It's about a radio show host, though.
Perfect. Um, what is a sustainable habit that you're enjoying right now?
Oh, hmm. That's a tough
Maybe it's
one. I feel like,
re-wearing your fast fashion from 10 years ago.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, right now it is the holiday season, so just trying to like gift mindfully and shop small and reuse wrapping and bags and all of
Yeah,
that jazz. That's a big current thing that I'm doing.
yeah. Outside of the holiday season, if you could only do one impactful green thing, what would you choose and why?
Mm, that's hard. Did you say outside of the holiday season?
It doesn't have to be, I mean, I just mean
Oh,
like encompassing the whole year so it's not limited to holidays, but
mm,
just something that you feel like is really doing the trick.
oh. I love shopping at the farmers market. Like, I think that connecting with people over the food system and just knowing where your food came from is like a really powerful thing. So
Hmm.
I would
Yeah,
probably say shop at the farmers market and connect with my local farmers.
yeah, love that. Um, what is a phrase, idea, or advice that's inspiring you right now, or some advice you would give your future self or like future generations if things aren't super inspiring in the minute?
Hmm. I think something that I have to remind myself of is that it's not always me, or I don't know how to phrase this, but it's the systems that we're living in. They make things hard. And so, like the other day, I accidentally threw something away that should have been composted. And I was like mad at myself. And I was like, Emily, it's not you. It's like these systems that, like, not composting this one piece of fruit is not like the big problem here.
Right. And you did compost a lot of other things in the meantime.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
yeah. Um, where can people find you and check out The Honest Consumer? Tell us about your links, your e-news, your Instagram,
Yes.
all the good stuff.
Awesome. Thehonestconsumer.com, that's my website. That's where you can find all the resources. And I'd love for you to subscribe to my newsletter. That's kind of where I focus most of my efforts. I'm also pretty heavily on Pinterest as well. Honest Consumer is my tag there. And then I'm also on Instagram, The Honest Consumer. I'm on Facebook and I'm on YouTube as well. So,
You're doing
yeah,
all the things.
occasionally.
That's amazing. I feel like since we were talking about e-news being kind of the most personal way of connecting with people, do you want to talk a
Yeah.
little bit about what people would receive when they sign up for your e-news?
Yeah, so I do a weekly newsletter of kind of seasonal roundup. So depending on what's going on, like this week was focused on our gift guide during Thanksgiving, had some resources on like reducing food waste and how to make holiday celebrations more conscious. And so, yeah, it's just a once a week deal with some resources that hopefully help you live more mindfully.
I love it.
Thank
Was there
you.
anything else you would like people to know before we wrap this up?
Just try your best when you're entering sustainable living, and yeah, try to find people that support you and are on a similar mindset with living more consciously. And yeah, I think that's it for me.
Amazing. Well, I'm so happy that you took the time to chat today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We will talk again soon.
Sounds good.